Sometimes trusting our intuition can get really tricky, and this full moon is one of those times. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. On this channel, we talk about spirituality, personal development, and so much more. And a couple times a month, I like to share new and full moon energy readings, complete with themes, mantras, with journaling prompts, with card pulls to help you navigate the energy of the lunations and get the most out of it. Today, we're going to be talking about the sun in Cancer, full moon in Capricorn on June 21st and the 22nd. It's at 6:08 Pacific time on the 21st. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's being offered to us at this time, and then I'll share what to be mindful of, what is encouraged, what to think about, and I'll give you some prompts to get the most out of this energy. We'll then end with an inspiring channeled card pull from our Rumi deck, as always. Before we get into the video, once again, thank you for allowing me to sponsor my own videos by supporting my functional spiritual jewelry line, Alchemy by LA. I create these talismans that have 3-letter Hebrew codes, the codes of creation. They're the names of God, the 72 angels, and they allow the wearer to enhance their manifestations and protects them from negative energy, from stagnant energy, just encourages you along in your path. And in honor of the solstice coming up, I want you to take 10% off your whole order, even solid gold, from the 18th to the 23rd. So if you're curious about which amulet might help you on your journey, go to alchemybyla.com and take the quiz to find out. It's really fun, really quick. Thank you for your endless support and for keeping our channel and our community going. And now let's get into the full moon energy reading. So the full moon occurs a day or two after the Cancer Solstice. The summer solstice is in the north and the winter in the southern hemisphere. This Cancer solstice is bringing this feeling of enchantment to our reality, and it is made even more dreamy by the illusory Neptune in Pisces. We're also moving from the sun in Gemini, which was words and ideas, to Cancer, which is our emotions, which is our home, which is the depths of our feelings. And so we already know that full moons in general are times of completion. They're times of things coming into wholeness and into clarity. And that's no different with this full moon, except for the clarity part, because even when I tapped into the energy of this full moon, Neptune and Pisces influence on this moon was already kind of obscuring my reading. So while full moons are usually, they bring a lot of clarity to one or more areas of our lives, Neptune and Pisces is making things a little hazy right now. Things don't feel as straightforward, and there's a blurring of the clear insights that we might typically get with a full moon. There's a sense of illusion, this sense of almost deception, and it could even be self-deception. This means that whatever is unveiled to you during this full moon, I would definitely hold off on reacting. Wait for the energy of this square to wane a bit, maybe 3-4 days, so that you can get a more clear picture of your emotions and what's really happening. Now, full moons are always times of heightened and intensified energy, and this is no different with this full moon, except for something very significant. The Capricorn energy is going to change the way that you are experiencing your emotions during this full moon. The full moon in Capricorn is bringing our emotional attention to our responsibilities, to our goals, and to the way that our life is structurally set up. Then we have the Sun, Venus, and Mercury all in emotional, caring, and also moody Cancer. So there's going to be this desire to kind of focus on your feelings, to speak about your feelings, to really feel, but almost this restriction or inability to fully feel into your emotions, okay? So you're going to want to express yourself, to emote your feelings, but you'll likely feel like you aren't able to do it as wildly as you might want to, as passionately as you might want to. A feeling that you can't quite place, that you can't quite define, and a longing for something that is almost hard to conceptualize. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So we have 3 big themes that I picked up on for this full moons, and this is relationships, finances, and that feeling of longing or even loneliness. This full moon, there's an opportunity for deep, deep healing in existing relationships and also in new ones. The energy will likely trigger any unresolved feelings or issues, but you have to know that this triggering is happening for the sake of the deepening of the health of your relationship. So things might come up, okay? Your relationship might be tested. Challenges will come up. You'll have to find a way to get through them. specifically together, and to overcome any potential obstacles that arise from the past, any unresolved things that might come up for either one of you or for the both of you together. The good thing about these triggers is really, they're truly set up to deepen your relationship. Because of them, you'll be able to deepen your relationship. If you can find a way to kind of put the ego to the side, to realize that your emotions are heightened, but you don't have full capacity of feeling exactly what you're feeling. And so taking a deep breath and noticing, okay, this is what my ego is feeling. This is what my intuition is saying, but I'm kind of all over the place. I'm going to try to put my ego to the side, and I'm going to just listen and listen with compassion and kind of see your partner, your relationship as you're on the same team with the same goals, and not to see yourselves or see each other as the enemy. And your relationship will be stronger for this. The second theme that I picked up on revolves our finances. There might be a strong feeling of needing to conserve, of wanting to pull back. This might be because of something happening on the world stage in regards to money, specifically maybe in the United States. This kind of shift around your finances could be a good thing if it's coming from an intelligent place of knowing, of abundance. But if you're starting to cut with feelings of scarcity and lack, you're going to be inviting more of that lack in. So try to shift your perspective away from cutting back and away from conserving to just making better informed decisions with your money, to being more intentional with the way that you're spending, maybe to become mindful a little bit of your consumerism, of where you're really spending instead of maybe doing something more productive for your health and for your mental well-being. Just kind of focusing on where we're funneling our resources. We want to always open and to expand, even when the circumstances of reality it might be telling us to contract. We transcend everyday materiality this way, and we can manifest from higher realms this flow of abundance and security. So if you have a hobby that you love and that you're spending money on, don't cut that, because that's coming from a place of fear and lack. But if you are, let's say, ordering food out every day and it's actually going to save you some money to start cooking at home, consider doing things like that. You're gonna want financial stability, and that's great. Just think in terms of getting more creative and receiving, not of withdrawing and cutting back, closing off your pleasure. Because pleasure, Venus, love, pleasure, and finances go hand in hand. And the last theme that I've picked up on is this feeling of searching for something. There's this feeling during the full moon of longing for something that you can't put your words to, something you feel you've never had, or maybe you had it in another lifetime. This might come up for you in the sense of wanting to visit another country, or, really desiring to call your soulmate in, or to have a life-changing experience, or you might really not be able to place where this desire and longing is coming from. In my experience, this search is only ever satiated when I stop looking for it outside of myself, and instead I start to look inside of me and really try to feel, what is it that I'm really needing, right? So Capricorn energy might make us feel a little bit blocked out from being able to access the full understanding of the emotions. So that's when we really want to go into our bodies, into flow, into nature, because the answer will arise there in that quiet, in that spacefulness, in that grounding. So that's the energy reading. Now I want to give you journaling prompts. This month's full moon journaling prompts are meant to deepen your relationships around the full moon, and also to manifest abundance, and they're going to be in the description for you to reference as always. Number 1, has there been a recent challenge in your relationship? How did it make you feel? What was your initial reaction, and how do you wish you had responded? Number 2, write about a conversation you've been avoiding with a loved one. What do you feel will happen if you have this conversation, and what positive outcomes could come from having it? Number 3, think about a relationship you want to deepen. What steps can you take to show appreciation and understanding to this person? Number 4, write about a time when you felt financially secure. What factors contributed to this feeling, and how can you recreate those factors in your current life? Number 5, write about an experience in nature that you had that made you feel peaceful and connected. How can you bring more of that feeling into your life now? We're gonna do a card pull, see what else the universe is asking us to pay attention to. what sort of guidance we can have for this full moon in Capricorn that is bringing our attention to our goals, to our responsibilities. And that reminds me, while I'm shuffling, this is a really good time to, right around the solstice, right around this full moon, it's a good time to manifest. The energy of the 21st and the 22nd, I totally forgot to put this in the reading. The energy of the 21st and the 22nd is a really powerful manifestation portal. I highly recommend accessing it, tapping it. If you don't want to do a ritual by yourself, just speak really positively about your life, about yourself, about your situations in general, because your word is your wand and you can really get a lot out of it on those days. I really wanted to get together for a ceremony, but it doesn't look like I'm going to have time to do that. So I'm going to try for the following week. If you want to join, let me know. And the message that we have today is, I wonder if we pulled this already in a full moon video or in a ceremony. It's number 11, Sacred Convergence. I feel like we may have pulled this one, but it's so interesting to me because it looks like a big full moon. Sacred convergence indicates a coming together of souls in alignment with a greater cause. This greater cause is both personal and impersonal. There is an aspect of joining together for common purpose, although that purpose may not be immediately obvious at a level of day-to-day consciousness. That common soul purpose may be to lift each other into greater love and self-belief, to shed fear and open the heart, filling each individual soul with more holy fire for its personal, passionate purpose. You'll have a sense when this process is happening. There will be a coming together of you with like-minded souls who hail from all walks of life, and yet together, through some invisible genius, you will help each other. You may simply be dancing in the same room or singing in a group, attending a class or workshop, or just visiting the same beach or parkland. But at that moment, there will be a sense of something coherent and nourishing happening at a far greater level. I've definitely felt this in our ceremonies, in our meetings. The trickle-down effect into your personal life will be felt too. You'll have more energy after spending time with these people, even if you don't interact very much on a personal level beyond being in the same space. You'll feel empowered to step forward on your path and love yourself with less conditions. You'll become freer to shed your fears, let go of relationships based in fear and judgment, and open up to those more loving, responsive, and inspiring to continue on your personal journey in increasingly profound ways. This oracle has come to you because you are part of a greater sacred convergence happening now. Perhaps you have already sensed its progression, or perhaps it will not be so obvious to you, but the effect, whether obvious or subtle, will be important to your soul development and divine awakening. You're being asked to drop defenses and barriers towards groups of people that feel good for you. However, those that dampen your spirits or drag you down are to be dispensed with, no matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. No, that shall not do for your soul growth now. Just step away. Turn towards those connections that feel nourishing to your soul and learn to share yourself without fear. Just be. You do not have to force the planets to spin, nor the great cycles of the soul to happen. All that is required is that you show up for what is offered to you now. Do your part. Take your steps. Dance, sing, and be, and allow the gifts of sacred connection to change your world, for this is the spiritual gift presented to you now. Perhaps you have been thinking about shedding lower vibrational connections based in the ego world of power games, sabotage, manipulation, and fear. Perhaps you have already begun this process or even shed so many you're fearing you might have over-pruned to be left with nothing and no one. Do not fear, feisty angel of love. Your truth is prevailing. You cannot stay in a vibration of fear if you want to dwell in a vibration of love. Right where we were talking about with that Venus energy and the Capricorn. That's beautiful. Really beautiful. Just a few things that I forgot to mention because pregnancy brain. If you haven't listened to the new episode of Inner Worlds, I'll link that down below for you. But just a couple, which I talk about that, obviously. Couple things that I missed. Around the full moon, avoid major decisions if possible. About 3-4 days. Your intuition might be strong right now, but it's going to feel a little bit difficult to discern between genuine insights and things that we're making up in our head. So just be mindful of that and of making decisions because of that. Do you see how much I have like a whole page of notes that I forgot? This is real brain fog thing Emotional clarity will be hard to find, but loving communication with the people that you love will help to support you through those feelings. There's going to be a lot of misinformation spreading next week around the full moon. Just be super discerning. Actually, there's a message for the next 6 months to be very, very discerning about falling into illusions and falling into misinformation and miscommunication. And then the things that are encouraged are grounding practices like meditating, journaling, and definitely spending time in nature to really stay centered and grounded. The theme and the mantra for this full moon is let go, because there's going to be a lot of confusion and you're going to want control. Try to let go of that, of the need for control. So yes, this is what I was trying to say. So there on the world stage, things will happen that are meant to delude us, that are meant to confuse us. It's really important for the rest of the year to just develop and listen to your own intuition. This might mean going on social media less and going inwards more. In fact, that's exactly what it means. Develop your own understanding of the world rather than adopt the one that you are force-fed online through an algorithm. We all are in one way or another. You're gonna need this kind of discernment not only for the next 6 months, but for the rest of your life. The full moon is also a really good time to focus on your goals and to power through any work that you've been kind of lagging on. So focus on that for this full moon. And of course, since we're at the halfway point of the year, reflect on your manifestations, on your goals and intentions, and kind of make sure that they're still in alignment with where you started in the year. And if they're not, then pivot and create new goals and intentions. And yeah, the structure of this full moon reading, of this energy reading, has shifted a little bit. It had to keep up with my flow of thought. I hope you enjoyed it regardless. If you found value in this video, I can't explain how much liking, commenting, and specifically sharing this video will help my channel and help our community. So if you liked it, do me a favor and send it to the group chat. And if you feel like sharing your thoughts, your experiences, and any insights you gained while watching, please share them with me, with everybody in the comments. I love hearing from you. If you want to get your amulet, right now is a great time with the code SOLSTICE for 10% off your entire order. And I will link the first episode of the 2nd season of Inner Worlds below for you to listen if you want a little bit more of me. I love you. Thank you. And as always, until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.